right. Let's have the promo video. Let's have the promo video. Did you send it to Colonel Oshin? Okay, let's have the promo video. Wow. Security starts with you. Security starts with you. Um, I'm super excited on, with this revolution. It's a revolution that's. Can you hear me? So it's a revolution that is here to stay and is here to take us from where we are to where we ought to be. The security we have all been craving for, it's here for all of us. Global security clusters led by our own Colonel Michael Gbenga Oshin. It's not a spectator call. It's not a call that we should not all stand up for. It's a call that has come to stay. It's a call that has come to impact us positively. It's a call for everyone. It's a call for everybody. The security revolution. Let's talk security by retired Colonel Michael Gbenga Oshin. I know the passion he had to say, I'm ready to serve my people. I'm ready to do to take my people from where they are to where they ought to be. I'm ready to champion this great vision. And if we are not doing this, you know, who will do it? Who will help us with our father's land? Who will do what we are expecting? So it's a no-brainer. It's the real deal. It's what every one of us need. So having said that, we need everybody. We need everyone to take this serious. Sparky Raymond, you're welcome. You're welcome, and we appreciate you for all the time you have always been up and doing to ensure that you come into the meeting. The security revolution is here. Is here for everybody. Everybody is here to create an awareness to let everyone know that security is our business. Is everybody's business. Security is not one person's business, but everyone's business. Security is not just for one person. I want to crave our indulgence that we should all get involved in this. We should all get involved in what we are currently doing here. We should all take this very, very serious. We should not joke with what is currently happening because security is not just one person's business, is our business. It is what we are set to do. It is what we are called to do. It is what we should be doing. We should be doing security. We should be taking security very, very serious. And, a lot of people don't see it like that. When an insecurity happen in a community, people blame the government. I'm not saying the government did not have a role to play, but the truth of the matter is that number one, you must learn to secure your life. Everyone must learn to secure their lives. You are number one person that is responsible for your life. Please kindly, anyone you see online on Spark Up, share the the share share with them the link for this security meeting and let them come and add their voice. Make sure you let them add their own voice to this call. This is not a call that few people should be there. We all see the insecurity that is happening in our society. It's pathetic. I was watching something this morning where someone was pointing at this is the father, this is the mother, this is that. Was wasn't about 4 family members or 5 died due to insecurity in the north. And that is why we must it's not something that we should joke with. It's not something that we should play with. Security is something that as we are holding this meeting, everybody on YouTube, on everywhere, should discuss it. Everybody should take it serious. Everyone should be rushing to say, just like Spark Raymond this morning said, where do I join the security? It should not be the only one to be looking for, oh, there should be a security. Someone even called me from Abuja this morning and said, how far with the security meeting? You understand? So which means this movement is now resonating with people. And people want to see that we all add our voice, we all speak our mind concerning it. You understand? We all speak our mind concerning it. Everyone, you know, come together, because this is where we can come up with a solution. And guess what? We're already designing our uniform. We're already putting things together. We're already doing a lot of things. We're starting a security company, because we are not joking. We want people to have the right information, the right knowledge, the right connects as regards security. And that is why I want to congratulate everyone that is part of this movement now. If you are part of this great movement, if you are part of this great movement, I want to congratulate you. What are you driving? I want to congratulate you. I want to say congratulations for what you are currently doing. Congratulations. You understand? Congratulations for everything you are putting in place. Congratulations for everything you are doing. This is global security arm of the global clusters. And we are saying, instead of end SARS, instead of end bad governance, instead of making noise, let us all come together and reason as to how we can secure ourselves. Let us reason how we can secure our environment. I can tell you, if we engage in meaningful conversations as to, map out direction as to how we can secure ourselves, it will go a long way to actually move our nation from where it is to where it ought to be. One of the reasons why we are not having some of big multinational brands in our father's land here is because of insecurity. A lot of people are really, really scared. A lot of people are really, really scared, you know, seeing what is currently happening concerning security. And if you're watching, if you're listening to me right now, if you're listening either on YouTube or you're listening to me on the Sparkle, the link that have been shared about these security clusters, I want you to ensure that you share with your friends, colleagues, and family. Let them join us in this great conversation. Let them be part of what we are currently doing right now. Let them add their voice to this global call. Security is not just a call for Nigeria, it's a call for everybody. You know, everything is shared with us. We are all here to see what we're doing regarding security. Security is everybody's business. Security is everyone's business. Security is everyone's business. Its security is not a call that you will say, no, after all, I'm not a police officer. After all, I'm not an army. After all, I'm not this, I'm not that. It doesn't really matter whether you're a police officer, whether you are a civil defense officer. It doesn't really matter. So what matter most is what matter most is that you add your own, contribute your own quarter as regard security. You contribute your own quarter when it comes to security matter. So it doesn't matter whether you are a police officer, you are a military personnel, because a lot of times we have left everything to say, oh, it is this military officer that should do this. It is this police officer. It is the people that are designated for the job that should do it. But I can tell you that is not what security is all about. Security is actually everyone's business. Having said that, I want Clusteran Olukayode Oyedotun to add his own voice onto the security revolution this morning of the global clusters. Over to you, Clusteran Olukayode Oyedotun.
Good morning, everyone. I do apologize. Last night was very, very busy, and I woke up not so long ago. So I'm very, very grateful for you guys taking up.
You're
Uh,
welcome, sir.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Over to you, sir.
say again? Dr. Badmus, good morning, sir. How are you?
Excellent morning to you, sir. I said we've been waiting for you.
Yeah, so
Everyone has been calling me from Abuja, from everywhere.
I'm here,
Where is our Oga? Where is our Oga?
I'm here, I'm definitely here. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, you guys really um you make me feel like I am actually the president because I woke up this morning. I was very tired. I got in very late last night after a hard week, and I think Ambassador, I think we had a very interesting conversation this week because he surprised me with a uh, very positive video call with a cousin of mine, whom before I ever met the ambassador, we were already talking about security and how I'm going to break into the Nigerian market. And to my surprise, because I hadn't seen him for a while, you know, I'm somebody just like the ambassador. I believe that you don't wait for people; you just get on and do what you've got to do. And I got a video call from the ambassador, and I dropped everything to see what the phone call was about. And lo and behold, there facing me was my cousin, whom I'd been trying to get hold of for quite a while, standing in the same room as the ambassador, getting ready for a radio campaign, which was absolutely fantastic. So now we are definitely moving on. And today's word, I'm actually just trying to put it on the group chat now, is today's word, bear with me, that I have chosen is is alertness. 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 I think last week we were talking about resilience, and obviously resilience is very important. Because if you don't have resilience, like I said last week, and as a lot of people attested to, if you don't have resilience, then you have nothing. Because without resilience, you can't keep going. You know, Dr. Badmus had a dream over 2 years ago. He put it into plan, and for the last 2 years, going into our third year, we are growing. You know, maybe not in numbers, but in quality, right? People are recognizing what we do. People are recognizing how we do it, and they're jumping on board where they can. And people are slowly, very, very slowly taking note of exactly what we're doing. Um, Master Genie, what I would like you to do for me is, now that I am here, could you just for a few minutes just roll the video again? And I'm going to try and put this alertness thing on the group chat, and then we will get talking, because I want to just spark up. I just want to spark up the TikTok as well, so that people can get on it, and then we will start talking about alertness. Good morning, Kabir. Good morning, Raymond. Good morning. Thank you for coming on board. I know it's quite late, but let's do this, man. This is why we're here. This is why we do what we do. Master Genie, over to you. Thanks. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, everybody. I am I Gbenga Oshin. Um, as I said to my boss the other day, um, to God be the glory. I have now been added a title. Uh, now I'm now a chief, so you can now call me Chief Gbenga Oshin. I think, I think, I think when I go to Nigeria, I think start feeling more like a Nigerian. That I have been conferred with the chieftaincy title of Balogun Fag Fagbade of Yoruba London. So, I am very, very honored to have reached this stage in my lifetime as a Nigerian. But yeah, alertness is the talk of the day. I'm hoping that today I have more of Dr. Badmus than I've had in previous weeks. Everyone seems to be stealing him from me nowadays. And I'm actually it's actually an honor that when people start to grab you to go into other meetings to talk about things, it is absolutely fantastic because what that basically means is that people are now awake to what we do and how we do it. And Dr. Badmus, you are, as I've said, unreservedly in the past, an absolute, um, how can I put it, inspiration to all us Clusterians, Sparkies out. Um, Master Genie, can you mute one of your because something's echoing here. So yeah, as I was saying, it is an absolute uh, pleasure to be working with people like Master Genie and Dr. Badmus and all of the other OO1s in the global cluster, because every day on a regular basis, I'm pretty sure that the feedback is the same from everywhere and everywhere that you look. So everyone should feel um, that they're doing a fantastic job. Everyone should give themselves a round of applause. Everybody should give themselves a pat on the back. The journey continues, the mission continues, the dream continues, and we are going to keep going on. We are going to keep marching on. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for your support. So yes, let's talk about today. Let's talk about alertness in the security world. Um, with regards to how I like to put it, and how we have now been accustomed to talk about security alertness in this new normal, because the new normal is our new baby, especially here in the global clusters. So, Master Genie, I'm gonna start with you because I love it the way you start things. Yourself and Ferez, you have this unique way of bringing certain things together so that people understand it in what I'd like to call layman terms. So, Master Genie, when it comes to security alertness, um, what would you say are the important things that people need to look at, and the actual qualifying areas? That was actually quite good, to be honest, because you've gone on to try to define what alertness is. Now, from what you said, I want to ask a certain question. In in our beautiful country, Nigeria, would you say that the people of Nigeria are not alert, or would you say that the people of Nigeria, we will use Nigeria as our case study today, would you say that the people of Nigeria are more scared than they are alert? Because I'm pretty sure there's not that much that doesn't go on in Nigeria that people of Nigeria know. You know, they know, right? But a lot of people are too scared to say anything in case of reprisal, in case of repercussion. You understand? Now, I look at um, I look at alertness. Um, how can I, you know, in today's world, right? Let me put it that way. In today's world, you move into a neighborhood, and we as much as we like to uh make fun of this, there are a lot of people in your neighborhood who know and see everything, right? We call them the amebors, or the iya insurance or baba insurances of the area. They see and know everything. Not very much goes past them. There isn't much that they're not privy to. Now, when you are alert, right, as a citizen of a nation, or as a citizen, or as a member of a community, right, what would you say your primary duties are with regards to um, letting or alerting people to goings on in your community or in your setting, right? Because this is where alertness comes into it. We are at a stage in the world today where there's a lot going on. right? And a lot of people know what's going on. They see what's going on. You know, no one can honestly and unequivocally turn to you and say to you, well, you know, it happened because I didn't realize. You know, there's a lot of people, like I said earlier on, who are just scared to say because, you know, they don't want anyone coming after them, or they don't want anyone mentioning their name. You know, you witnessed a crime or a felony, as they say in America, but you didn't say anything, right? But as a citizen, um, when you are alert to something, or you walk into a store and you are alerted to something, what would you say your primary duties are? Not only as a person, but as a citizen of the world. What would you say your primary duties are? Because remember, we're talking security, right? Now, when we sit down to break bread together, as we like to put the term, right? You know, we want to walk safe, be safe, you know, and know safe, right? Now, because we want to walk safe, talk safe, and be safe, right? Obviously, the moment you walk into a room or a setting, you know that something is about to go down. So, in that instance, or because of this, right, we owe certain things not only to ourselves, right, but we owe certain things to our community. So, as a citizen of the world, what would you say your primary duties are when it comes to staying alert as to your environment? Master Genie, help me out. Hmm. 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 Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. But hey, here's this. Now, um, okay, we're in say an office setting, right? Now, here's my first question. Right, here's my first question. Now, I know that you've kind of like highlighted it a bit, you know, but I want us to try and get, you know, let's try and take a big chunk out of this, you know, because remember, we're all learning here. I mean, yes, you know, this is the security segment, and you know, we're all here to talk about it and whatnot, but we're also all here to learn. And remember, as much as I'm a Nigerian, you know, there's certain parts of Nigeria and certain things in Nigeria that I'm still learning. And a lot of people who have done Nigeria more than I have will probably be able to push me in a better direction. Now, remember the core dimensions of security awareness, right? Would stem or spark from things like digital awareness, physical awareness, behavioral awareness, information sensitivity, right? Now, when we're talking digital awareness, we're talking about um how can I put it? Phishing, which is like people jumping into your computers and your softwares, your your social media, your emails, all your information, your banking, everything, right? All your, and they steal identities. We're talking identity theft here. We're talking, when you're going into a building and you know that before you get into that building, obviously they've either got access control or they've got security there, or they've got automatic doors that don't open unless someone lets you in. you know, Public workspaces. When we're talking about behavior, have you noticed people sitting in a bus or in public transport, together, and one of them feels or looks uncomfortable, and when you're out and about and you're talking to someone and you're asking questions from one and the other person is answering, you know, information, what you should or shouldn't share. Because, in today's money, unfortunately, too many people are sharing a lot of things that they shouldn't be, and it ends up coming back to, as we say over here in the UK, bite them on the bum. You know, so, you know, what would with just those four examples, how would you say, if at all, right? How would you say that we have developed, or how do you think we should develop as people, in today's money, and improve our awareness or our alertness to a lot of the things that's going on around us? Master Genie, you there? Yep, I'm still on you. Right. With all the examples that I cited, how if at all, do you think that we should go about trying to improve our security alertness in today's money? I'm talking, I've just mentioned digital awareness, which is basically taking care of all your digital profiles. That is your banking, your social media, etc. I'm talking physical awareness. When you're walking into a building and somebody jumps in behind you just to get in because they know that they don't have the code to enter the building, or that they don't have the means to enter that building unless somebody enters with them or lets them in. We're talking behavioral awareness. That is, someone's asked somebody a question, but somebody else answers, and the person who got asked the question feels uncomfortable, you know, or information, you know, knowing what you should or you shouldn't be sharing with people, those kind of areas. What would you say, or how would you say that we need to, in today's money, improve the way to which or by which we go about our daily security alertness in the new normal? Mhm, mhm. Oh yeah. Mhm. It kind of has, but you know, like how can I put this? You know, one of the reasons why I'm actually loving today's topic is, especially like in countries like ours. Now, for for so many years, and I'm pretty sure that Dr. Badmus, if he can hear me, would agree with me that especially in countries like Nigeria, you know, where you have adults who um, dominate conversations or talk over you, you know, and you know, there's an incident. You know, it's either security conscious or not, but there's a conversation or a debate or something, and it concerns a younger person or a subordinate. Now, you know, you're someone's being questioned. There are two people in a room. Someone's being questioned, and the guilty person will not allow the innocent person to speak. Now, people around generally do not resonate or understand that the person who is being subdued needs help. Now, this is where a lot of awareness, security alertness comes into it, because you know, if you know that somebody is in danger or somebody is at risk, right? How do we, in today's money, deal with that? You know, what would you say, or how would you say that we should try as best possible to be dealing with that in today's new normal? Kabiru, are you there?
All right, good morning. Our whole one in security.
Good morning, Kabiru. How you doing?
This is a very, very important question, especially in today's Nigeria environment.
Mm-hmm.
Security, as the general says, that it is the duty of every citizen. It is the duty of every resident. Residents, including the landlord and the tenant. Landlord must do a due diligence about who is accepting to come and live in his house.
Mm-hmm.
If a landlord can go extent to understand why the person is living where he was living before, to come and live in his house. If you understand the job of your tenant, if every landlord in that estate can understand everybody living in their house, that one, they have already done a kind of first level of security. You already know your customer, you already know your neighbor. Now, it is not the duty of every resident to report any suspicious movement in their environs. If they see anything that is not right, you know, you see 2 or 3 people, you know, in a certain area having a discussion that you believe, or you have the good intention or the good faith that what they are discussing, you know, can be a risk, security risk to the environment. There should be a WhatsApp group. There should be a reporting channel where individual can report such incident that, oh, this also people are discussing this also area. Please, can somebody go there and chase them away, or we should call security to come and check them? You know, having a good faith, having good intention should be enough to report situation in Nigeria if you want the security to be, you know, to be good for every one of us. This is Nigeria where we are that every resident is afraid to even, you know, approach police, because police themselves can do, you know, we don't have belief in them, because there's a way they turn things around to the complainants. So everybody is afraid to even talk to them. Everybody is afraid to talk to even soldier. So that one is another risk, security risk on its own. That, oh, we are not approachable. The government agent is not approachable. So the citizen cannot even tell them this is what is going on there without having repercussion. So everybody is afraid in that angle already. So we need to have a structure in the country where everybody, using the good intention, having a good faith to report the case. Even if they find out that it's not like that, but because you have the good intention to do that, should be enough. So that everybody will have free mind to express themselves, to report anything they see that is not right in their environment. So everybody can move around, doing their businesses without fear. But because of Nigeria today, you cannot even drive past where there is issue and you want to help. Maybe there's an accident, you want to help the victim in the nearest hospital. There are a lot of fear everywhere because anything can happen and they will turn it against the effort. So that's another thing that we have. Until we have a proper orientation of, a mind shift. So people that, or the hospital, for instance, the security begin to show themselves to people that, oh, don't worry, do this, do that. We are going to protect you. We are not going to have any issue. And people start believing in them. So, and the environment, everybody's seeing what is not right. They begin to report to the chairman of the environment or begin to report to the security chairman in that environment. If in my own estate, we're able to do this, in your own estate, you're able to do that. In another estate, we're able to do that. We are neighbor. So in that environment already, the security is already what? In a proper shape. So I don't want to talk too much. I believe you already understand where I take it from. I'm just trying to tackle it from the grassroots. That individual duty, we don't leave the security job to only the government agent, to policemen, to soldier, or to any other officer. It is everybody's duty. And how can we participate in it? Is by having a proper structure in our environment. Somebody have a discussion that and say something that every estate now they have security code before they enter. I went to see somebody on the island the other day around Lekki. They asked me what's the entry code for today. So it means that in that estate, every day they send to residents the security code for today. If somebody is coming to come and deliver something to you, that delivery man must pronounce that security code before they allow that person to enter. So if you're a resident, they already have it as what? They protect that code. That is only person that they are expecting must know that code. So we need to do more. We need to assist the neighbor. We need to be our brother's keeper. If we want the security, if you see somebody coming to your environment that you don't see before, we need to quickly alert who is, accepting these people in their own house. So the landlord should be able to say one or two things about those people. Otherwise, such people should be ejected from the environment. Thank you.
That was absolutely fantastic because as you were saying that, some things came to mind. Now, when we're talking alertness, now and I know that in the world of security and in the world of community, that let's take for instance, or let's take for an example, when certain things are going to happen in this world or in a community or in an environment, there's a very famous or very well-known term that's used, and it is weakest link. Now, persons who want to perpetrate certain negatives in a community or in a setting tend to look for the easiest route of access. So, they either target a person, or they target a building, or they target an environment. Now, as a citizen of the world, right, or as a citizen of a community, right, what would you say would be our duty, or how do we combat, or how do we enhance our ability to notice something that's not right in a certain place? I've just noticed the entrance of Adewumi Uluwatoyi. Good morning and welcome aboard. It's good to see you on this platform on this lovely Saturday morning. I know you've just come in, but I'm pretty sure you got the last bit of what was just said. Uluwatoyi, are you there? I've got a feeling Uluwatoyi is in Nigeria and the network is proving to be a very stubborn landlord. But it's all good. Kabiru, I'm going to come back to you because I loved your answer just now. And I'm just going to say, when we're talking environment and when we're talking community, right? You know, and I know that normally it's the weakest link or the weakest possible link that people use in order to infiltrate or perpetrate certain crimes or certain means of destabilizing an environment. What would you say would be a solution to enhancing our alertness with regards to strengthening weakest links? Kabir.
Okay, in strengthening our weakest link, for the environment to be what it's supposed to be. Just like I said earlier, that every neighbor must know themselves. Mm-hmm. Landlord must know the tenant. Tenant must know the house where he's going to reside. In Nigeria, generally, we begin to have a national ID card now. Every individual is now having security code. Let me call it security code. Mm-hmm. That whatever you do that with your NIN, your biometric is showing. The same thing can apply at local level, at community. The community leader, the Cherokee Baale of that community must be proactive enough to know every member in that community, to have their details. If you are living in apartment A, block B, you must know Mr. ABC is staying there. Mm-hmm. Oh, Mr. ABC have XYZ tenants staying there. Oh, this is the code for that people. So we let community leader will also have, a member of the cabinet, let me say, apostle. People that they are doing that is receiving the advice from. No, they should make every plot of that community. If you make somebody responsible for anything that is going on in that environment. If you see any 2 or 3 people, strangers, coming together to have a discussion, the community should be alerted. The security in that community should go there to ask what they are looking for. If they cannot mention anybody in that community, they should be ejected. Mm-hmm. So with this, having a security code, knowing ourselves in that community, as established by the community leader, we strengthen, the link of that community. So I think this I'm just trying, I'm explaining my security. I'm having discussion on this security. I'm tackling it from grassroots. Mm-hmm. I think that's where we are getting it wrong. Yeah. And we need to do that by knowing ourselves in the community. Not that just see new face today. You don't even know where the person comes from. You must know where the person is coming from. Why is the person coming to live in our midst? Thank you.
Totally agree. Thank you for that. Now, like I said, there a lot of things go wrong in today's new normal, simply because of the fact that the weakest link is never always investigated, or protected, I should say. You hear that people have infiltrated a bank or they've infiltrated a community and things have gone wrong, and some of it quite critical. And sometimes a lot of debris in human form has been left behind, and this is because of the fact that sometimes intel hasn't been followed up or like I said earlier on, in our community, in our beautiful Nigerian communities, certain people, either through influence, affluence, or status have subdued people in their environment, and silenced them, whether verbally or physically, from saying what needs to be said. Now, I'm going to bring in Dr. Badmus here because Dr. Badmus has, and I love the way he tables it a lot of the time, his way of explaining the reasons, especially in our Nigerian communities, why people are so very easily subdued by people of influence, affluence, status, or wealth, especially in the West African communities. Oh, Dr. Badmus has vanished. The network doesn't want us to speak to him. But Master Genie, let me bring you back in because I know you're here. How would you say that people with influence, affluence, and status have assisted in messing up the status quo when it comes to alertness and enabling or empowering people to come forward with their observations of things that are going wrong? Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. It's just like I said, I get a bit worried sometimes, especially like when I'm following the uh events or the goings on in our beautiful country of Nigeria, and I see publications like the one I saw last week of certain individuals' assets, that have been retrieved. I found it very, very funny, that, and this is the reason why I asked the question earlier on about personal vigilance, personal resilience, personal alertness to goings on around us. You work, excuse me, you work in the bank, and you work closely with the governor of the bank, or you work closely with a manager in the bank, or you work closely with a supervisor in a bank, and you've noticed that this individual is siphoning funds, taking off the top, enriching not just himself, but his family, his friends, up to and including putting hundreds of millions of currency into the account of a 6-year-old boy, right? 6 years old, who has an account that has hundreds of millions of currency in it, right? Now, obviously, because you're the governor of such a setting, it doesn't mean that you're the only person who will have access to all of this, especially when you work in a banking environment, because the security element will be there, the cyber security element will be there, the management element will be there, and people will see things going and coming. Now, if you are alert to these things, right? Why think that people prefer to stay quiet on these things until things go desperately wrong? Master Genie. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, we know. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm, You know what? I love the fact that you've been able to incorporate.
Can I quickly jump on that, Cornell,
Yes,
please?
yes, sir. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah. You see, um, the last speaker, that is the OO2 certificate revolution of the global clusters, Cluster and Lukayo Oyedotu. Thank you for that speech, because this thing that you are saying has killed a lot of men.
Mm-hmm.
My own is that I want to say to my gender, ẹ má jẹ́ kán pa yín o.
Yes.
Don't allow anyone to kill you.
Yeah.
What will be will definitely be.
Mhm.
Your sanity is important. Your life is important. Your progress is important. Your fulfillment in destiny is important.
Mhm.
And I want to not to say, oh, I'm only talking to my gender too. We have the other gender here. Spakiola Inca. Don't allow anybody to kill you. Life, people can use their attitude to kill you.
Yes.
They can use their character to kill you. If you are not careful, when they kill you, they will repent. The dirty water they poured into your life, they will start looking for different kind of clean water to extinguish it. And just like if you pour a dirty water into a cup, and if the cup, and at the time you're seeing it is messy, and that is the death. The death has occurred, it's
Yeah,
messy.
that's right.
But when they start pouring the clean water into it, the messiness will start extinguishing, and by the time some people will see it, they will see it very clean. Nobody will know that the person has caused your death
Yep.
through their attitude and through their distance. Oh, I can see the 001 FCT cluster of the global clusters. Spaki Ade, you're welcome. So it's something that is very, very important. When you see something, say something. Open your mouth. Don't keep quiet. If you see a trace of people trying to connive, people can use attitude, character to kill you. So it's the security of your life right now. I tell people the only major thing you can bend roots. You can bend rules for is when it pertains to your life, when it pertains to your sanity, when it pertains to you, you know, you must make sure that you do what you have to do. You must ensure that. This is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Now, I tried to get hold of you earlier on because a couple of questions came up, and I was saying that because I like the way that you break things down, especially from a Nigeria perspective. Now, in Nigeria today, I view Nigeria as having so many weakest links, and the weakest links come from the fact that people with influence, affluence, status, and wealth tend to want to subdue a lot of people and thereby diminish the the um, the wanting of people to exhibit their alertness to things going on around them. And this, for me, enables people to access areas that they're not supposed to. And the people around that see this don't speak. How would you say, or how do you think we can combat this and improve or empower ourselves as citizens of the world to eradicate this particular function?
Thank you very much. You see, one of the ways to eradicate or combat this is what we're currently doing right now on the call. What we're currently doing right now is one of the major way to ensure that we combat what you're talking about. Is one of the major way to combat it. Awareness, conversations that make sense, not just converting. But conversation,
Continue on a Orange-Shoki Expressway for half a mile.
conversations that actually ensure that we talk about what is currently going on. Conversations that when we talk, we do. We don't just talk, we talk and do. You know, conversations
Keep right.
pretty much like what the global cluster is doing. We talk, we do. We talk, we do. We take actions. We are all alert. We all make people to know
Keep
that,
right.
come on, every one of us needs to do this for ourselves. Every one of us needs to ensure that we empower ourselves. Every one of us needs to ensure that
Take the ramp to Oshin Motor Road.
we do the right thing for ourselves.
In 1.5 miles,
Is
take the exit
this
toward
this is really really important? When we talk, we do. When we talk, we do. When we talk, we do. That is how we can actually solve this problem. We should not let it be in the realm of talking. We should equally do. So anytime we engage in conversations, we should have action steps. Everyone should have an assignment of what they're going to do to ensure that we solve this problem. It's really, really very, very important that anytime we talk, we should do. So we have started it. Thank you. Thanks to you, Colonel Michael Gbenga, for leading the task, for leading us on the global security cluster of the global clusters. Thank you very much.
Head toward Oshin.
So now that you're leading us,
600 feet.
we
turn
need
toward
you to be
Oshin
giving
Motor
us
Road.
tasks. Just like you yourself, you have the major tasks. So give us some little tasks. Oh, this is what I expect you to do within the week. This is what I why people in the cluster, a discussion can be escalated, and people can start bringing their people to come and add their own voice to their own comment to the discussion. You know, so when we talk, we do. When we talk, we do. So once we do that consistently, I can tell you that yes, we are actually,
105 for half a mile.
you know, we are actually, uh, going towards the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, with those of us that are in this talk today, and those on TikTok, now I want us to think, right? I want us to cast our thought process along these lines. Because remember, today I actually really want to concentrate not just on the fact that there's a lot of threat out there today, but I want to look at the human factor, right? The human factor, because I'm talking today generally about the weakest and the strongest links, both community wise and as citizens of the world, right? Because obviously, if we are based in Nigeria, we're talking community. If we're based all over the world, we're talking about wherever it is, our environment and whatever it is that we're doing. Now, here's a question. You live in a community. You have people that you say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to on a regular basis, right? You have people who have just moved in to your space, your environment, your community, your area. Now, as you traverse, on your daily tasks, in your daily tasks, or whatever it is that you do, your earning your living or whatever, the people that you see on the bus, in the train, and the tube, walking the streets, Here's a few questions. Now, I'm not trying to stir up any negatives here, but I do believe that with reference to or with regards to a lot of the things that have been happening over the last few years. Now, I don't know. Do you ask yourselves certain questions? Questions like, do you trust this person, or do you trust this movement, or do you trust this attitude? You know, um, you've just reported something, or you've just noticed something, and you've just brought someone else's attention to it. How much urgency do you put into, or does that person you reported it to put into making the necessary phone calls or taking the necessary steps? You know, which authorities, or do you have the authorities in place? Because one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that when people report certain things, they say, "Oh yes, well, I have to go and talk to the manager, or I need to talk to a supervisor." Those persons, are they in place, or are they competent enough to deal with these things that have been reported? And in the course of your reporting, right, or in your observation, do you or have you ever noticed that someone or something is trying to distract you, or distract your attention, or distract the attention of the person or person? Can you hear me now? Excellent. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, what my question was, with regards to the four areas that I brought up now, which is trust, urgency, authority, and distraction. That is, trusting that what you've seen or heard is authentic, legitimate. That is the urgency to which or by which it has been reported, right? The authority that you need to report it to, or if you yourself are the authority, what actions have you taken, or what actions do you feel you should take? And distraction, right? Does something, someone, or an event distract you, or attempt to distract you from carrying out the correct measures in order for this event to be dealt with in the appropriate manner? Right now, I'm going to call in Olayinka. Olayinka, did you hear all that? Thank you and welcome aboard. Olayinka, are you there? Seems that Olayinka also has, a lot of us seem to be having a lot of technical issues this morning. Yes, please. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. 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 Most definitely. Most definitely. Now, you've just brought up a very important point there, deep fakes. Now, there's a lot of this is why earlier on one of the bullet points that I used was the data phishing and social engineering. You know, when people certain information is out there, how much do you trust it? You know, in today's modern era, like you rightfully said, where technology is concerned, you get all these messages that come through on your cell phone or your computers. You know, people urging you to do certain things. You know, you get certain phone calls from certain people who are, who've managed to hack into a certain system and come up with your details, and they're asking you questions and they're asking you to input codes so that you can join certain meetings. I'm pretty sure that along the line somewhere, someone's going to call one of my contacts one day and say, oh yes, my name is chief or pastor or reverend or clusterian so and so, the global clusters has a meeting this afternoon at 1 o'clock, so just input this code and then we're just trying to use that to register your attendance for today's meeting, knowing full well that Michael Gbenga Oshin, would never ask you to confirm your attendance to one of my meetings via code. It's not something that I would do because I don't see the need to. We come on live on a Saturday and everybody logs in and everybody participates. So, how alert are people to that fact? If, and this is why we put it out there, and Master Genie, if you could make a note of this and put this on the global clusters group chat and all the other group chats that we belong to, that where global security clusters is concerned, we are never ever going to ask people to put in codes for upcoming meetings. We operate on a Saturday morning. We have mind surgeries every day of the week. You do not need to confirm your attendance. You just need to turn up. So if you could please put that out there under the banner of today's word, which is alertness. Be alert to how we do things in the Spark hubs and in the global clusters. Right? Be alert to how we do things in the global clusters and in the Spark hubs. As you can see on the word of the day, it says alertness. Stay observant and stay prepared. Stay observant, stay prepared, right? Be observant to the ways and the practices of both the Spark hubs and the global clusters. Stay observant and stay prepared to the practices that take place in your environment and your communities. Don't just, because of the fact that some people's cell phones or computers or whatever are so glued to their person, that they don't notice anything going on around them. And I'll give you a perfect example. Last night, as I was traveling around, there was a guy, he looked very, very Nigerian. He had his nose firmly in his phone. I don't know what he was scrolling or what he was doing. The phone wasn't to his ear. He was looking at his phone and he walked straight into the road in front of my vehicle. Right? I had to toot my horn and he looked up and I said to him, bro, what are you doing? Because he's not alert to what's going on around him. Now, if the car or a car had been coming at speed, right, we probably would have been talking about something else, right? But then who would have been at fault? So people need to learn how to be alert to their environment, their community, and everything else around them. And this is why today's word alertness is very, very important, not just in security, but in everything that we do, even in your mindfulness. And I think that if possible, in today's mind surgery this afternoon and this evening, the word alertness should be brought up in some of the chats, because I don't think personally that a lot of people are alert enough in their daily goings on. Sparky Olayinka, are you there? Are you with us now? Sparky Olayinka, good morning. How are you? Good. Can you turn your volume up, because you're very quiet? Can you? Oh, it's okay. So I take it you've been following a lot of the things that we've been saying. So what's your take on today's topic, alertness?
Today's topic is really, really, really good topic. I really enjoyed the one ambassador just said to me. Not to you, yes. It's really affecting us, yes. Because with character, a lot of people use their character because we don't know people's mindset at all. We don't see things in people's face before they want to do to you. So to me, it's like we should be careful. It's just like taking ourselves like security. We should be our own security self. We should guide ourselves in some aspect. That will really help us. So people will not use their own to affect us, to kill us in some aspect too.
Okay, thank you for that. Even though I didn't get too much of that, but I do get the gist of what you're trying to say. Master Genie, if you're still there. Now, I've just come up with a few practical scenarios. Right now, you're in, let's just say for argument's sake, you're in a cafe, right? You're using the Wi-Fi in that cafe, or you're using the Wi-Fi in the library or somewhere public, right? And you're working on sensitive documents, right? Now, what precautions do you think should be taken in that kind of an environment? Okay. Okay. Hmm. It kind of does. It kind of does. And the reason why I'm asking that question, obviously, we're talking about alertness today, and a lot of people, especially here in the UK and in the US, tend to go to libraries and any place where they've got free Wi-Fi. Obviously, not everybody. Some people, because of their phone bills or whatever, they don't have enough data, so it's a lot cheaper for them and a lot easier for them to be using public Wi-Fi, so that they can get either work or communications done. But unfortunately, what a lot of people don't realize is exactly what you just said there. As you're using somebody else's Wi-Fi or somebody else's access to social media, right? You're leaving footprints of yourself there, that people sometimes, if they know how, and hackers generally do know how to access that information and use it for whatever. Now, here's another one for you, Master Genie. And obviously, those of us who live in diaspora know about this. You get a phone call on your device, and it says to you, we're calling from so and so and so, just to let you know that your account will be locked in 2 hours, because such and such and such hasn't been done. Now, as somebody who is alert, what should you check and what should you do? Yeah, thank you. Can I just point out one observation? Not all banks, give you access to the number that they're calling from. And I just want to put it out there, and this is why it is kind of like a bit of a problem for some people, because a lot of people tend to answer no number calls or hidden phone numbers, and it is also something that we need to get to grips with and stop doing. If the caller has hidden their number, 9 times out of 10 it is a scam call. On certain devices, like with my phone, actually tells me that the number that's calling you is possibly a scam. It's possibly a spam call, so I don't answer those. If you're going to call me, you're normally somebody who I've got your number already, so I've already saved it on my phone. So when it rings, your name and your picture should come up if I've got your picture. So, and this is the reason why I do this. As I say to a lot of people, when I take their phone numbers, I say to them, I only want your number for reference. And that reference is if you call me one day out of the blue or whenever, I know who you are, and I will answer your call. Well, this is true, but even the police tend to send. They tend not to call. They tend to send a message for you to call them, and the reason for that is because of the fact that they know that there's no way that they there's no way that they are going to call you. There's no way that they are going to call you, and for you to see their number because they know that their number is off record, so they will ask you to call them. I'd like to is the entrance of Clusterian Grace to Grace. Good morning, Clusterian Grace to Grace. How are you?
Good morning.
What's your take on today's subject?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I've been listening in the background for a while now, and I just thought I should jump in quickly. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to earlier. I've been preparing to. It's been a very busy Saturday for me today. But I jumped in. I just want to come in and jump out quickly, just because just to make a quick correction of something that our Honorable Masagini just said. He said it well. He said it correctly. But I just want to just correct something very, very, very briefly, please. Concerning the bank, especially, you see, there's something going on here. I don't know if anybody has been a victim of it in Nigeria, but I know a few people who has been a victim of it here, and this is cybersecurity issue. When you say when the topic of the bank calling you came up, believe you me, your bank will not call you randomly in this country at all. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Once you go on your bank app, they will tell you, we are not calling you. If your bank call you, it has to be because they realize that something is happening on your an activity that is not supposed to be happening on your account is happening, and their number will not show. Their number is not going to show. It's always a hidden number. And they will ask you to call them. And the reason why they will ask you to call them is because a lot of people are fall victim in this country. Before, if you watch a program called crime. Is it crime?
Crime Stoppers.
Crime Stoppers. Yes, Crime Stoppers. 99% of them get call from their bank. Well, assuming that is from their bank. The number is always a bank number, yeah, and it will bring out everything. It will bring out a caller's ID saying that it's a bank, is a call from your bank. It's always a fake call. They are always 99.9% of them are scam. And if you feel like your bank is calling you, drop the phone, yeah, and use another phone to call them. Because if you call them with the same phone, the same people will pick that call. Because what they have done is they have taken over your line. So if you try to call the bank back, the same bank with that particular phone, they will still be the one to pick it. You are not in control of your number at that moment. And you will give them all the information that they needed. Now, a very close friend of mine, this happened to him about a month or 6 weeks ago. Somebody called him and pretending to be from the bank. So what they did was they were trying to use his card. His card is with him. He's looking at his card in his hand like this. And somebody was trying to use the same card, physical card, in another country. I think it's in one of these Asian countries. And because he's got two-factor authenticator on his phone, I think they call it 3D verification. So they couldn't use it. So the people have to call him, and they get all his details, his date of birth, his everything. They got it right. Trust me. They got every single detail of his right. Now, where they messed up was, I think they said something. I can't remember what they said that triggered something in his mind and said, no, the bank will not say this. So he said, okay, no problem. He wanted to confirm most of all this all the information. Then he dropped the phone and he called his bank with his other number, because he's got two numbers, and both two numbers were registered with the bank. So he's called the bank, NatWest, with his other number, and they said they were not calling him. That is not them. And they were so convincing that he could have given them that. I mean, sorry. I remember now what they did. They wanted him to authenticate the 3D or the authenticator. So, and he knows that the bank will never ask him to authenticate that. The bank will never ask on the phone for him to authenticate that. So that's when the penny dropped. That no, they get everything right. The information, his address, his date of birth, everything. But that 3D authenticator, everybody should know that your bank will never call you to ask you for that 3D authenticator. So that was what they needed. You understand? So that was when he now used his other telephone to call the bank, and the bank said, we will never ask you for your 3D authenticator. You should never give anybody. You understand? So be careful. Your bank is not going to call you. And if they're going to call you, they mostly don't call you with their number. They call you with head number. And that is only if they realize that something. And even in this country, the reason why they won't call you is they will block your account. So they know that you're going to call them back if they block your account. So don't fall. I will advise everybody not to fall. And most of this prank call comes from Nigeria and Asia. You understand? So please, I will advise everybody to be financially alert and, security, alert, not to fall for any call that looks genuine, but that is not genuine, if you understand what I mean. So I'm just talking out of experience and people that have seen, that have fallen, that have, gone through this type of, call, be security conscious. I haven't experienced it, but I have seen where somebody used my credit card in another country, and I just called the bank, and they called, they claim back my money immediately within few seconds, because it's a credit card. Credit card is not your money. You understand? So, but nobody have called me to give them any number before. But I'm sure I won't fall that victim. So I'm just, letting everybody know that even your bank shouldn't be calling you, if you don't have a business account with them. Only business account, and they won't ask you for sensitive information. They will just ask you to come in and talk to them. They will never ask you for sensitive information. That's my take. Sorry, I have to, go.
Thank you so much, Trustarian Grace to Grace. Now, I'm actually glad that you brought that up, because we're talking about alertness. Now, this actual segment is probably one of the most popular, or probably the most common areas where people normally get stung, and that is through phone calls and social media. Now, even me, who is hosting this and speaking to you about it, I remember some years ago, this was just before COVID, just before the lockdown, the world global lockdown, because of the pandemic. I remember that I was trying to do something on my phone, and it wasn't working, it wasn't happening, it wasn't going through, and I had to make a phone call to who I thought was running that particular show, in my, on my system. Unbeknownst to myself, it had actually gone through to a group of hackers. Now, I absent-mindedly now divulged all of my security information to these guys, and they totally rinsed out everything that I had at the time. Now, I did, and I didn't find it funny. That's the truth, because at the end of the day, if you work for your money, when somebody else now walks in and takes it all from you, it's never, ever, ever a funny thing. But it taught me a very valuable and vital lesson. And that vital lesson was ask questions, be alert, and remember the things that should and or shouldn't. Remember the questions that should and or shouldn't be asked of you in that particular area. I'm gonna wind up now, because I think we've been going for a good hour or so, and it's been very, very good today, a very good session, especially on the topic of alertness. And Master Gina, remember, I see that you've put it on here, and it has gone on the group chats. But even in today's sessions, can we please alert people to today's word of the day, because it's something that's very fundamental, something very important in all of our communities, in all of our clusters and mindsets. So I think His Excellency has gone about his business as per usual. So I'm going to leave you, Master Genie, to close up for us with our usual exit. Over to you. Thank you, Master Genie, and see everybody again next week, same time, same place, with another hopefully very important and very insightful topic, and another great word for the day. So I will see you all this evening on this evening's Mind Surgery. Take care and goodbye.